What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, if you caught our video at the channel yesterday, we covered industry insider Jeff Sneider, the guy who broke that Robert Downey Jr. was going to play Doom. We covered his last scoop on Blade, which said that they'd found a new director for the film, and not only that, that it might be Chad Stahelski from the John Wick franchise, an absolute dream. Now, if you saw that video, today's news may come as quite a shocker, but coming from the worldofreal.com under the headline, Marvel's Blade has been scrapped. According to their sources, Marvel's Blade is no more. We're going to talk about exactly what they said and whether or not I think that this is maybe a misinterpretation of the situation, and I will explain. We're breaking it all down. Marvel's Blade apparently canceled, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. We've been growing again at a breakneck pace. Thank you to everyone who's been subscribing, and if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing to support us as content creators here, and it enters you for the giveaways. We'll get into that stuff at the end of the video. So again, this literally broke late last night from worldofreal.com under the headline, Marvel's Blade scrapped. They go on to report, quote, "Not surprisingly in the least bit, but after 10 years of endless delays, it looks like Marvel's Blade movie has finally been canceled. The playlist's Rodrigo Perez, who doesn't always dish out intel, but when he does turns out to be accurate, is being told that Blade has been nixed. Pencils have been put down, and active development on it has shuttered." They go on to add, though, that it looks like Mahershala Ali's Blade is sticking around and will be introduced either in Avengers Secret Wars or something like the Midnight Suns or a different Marvel film. Now, interestingly enough, this is a brand new phenomenon that I've seen in the last couple of years. I've been doing this since Avengers Infinity War, and as I've remarked at least twice already this year, it's pretty infrequently that we get a trusted industry insider or a source saying one thing, and then immediately the next day and from another source saying something completely different. In fact, usually there's a lot of corroboration between industry insider sources. That's why there's even a rumor mill for Marvel Studios in the first place. A lot more of this stuff ends up being right than wrong. But here we are again, and I'd say for the third time this year already, where one industry insider like Jeff Sneider says they just found a new director, and the very next day we've got another industry insider saying the exact antithesis, as in the movie has been scrapped. What's going on here? Well, I think it has a lot to do with the nuance of what's going on at Marvel Studios, and we talked about this in yesterday's video, how much time and effort they've put into working on that script. 7+ writers, and this article actually goes on to talk about that, just how many trials it's already seen in pre-development hell, being stuck there since basically 2019, and here we are a half decade later, no closer to that film being made. It seems like even further away. But the truth is that when it comes to Marvel Studios over the next 24 months, it is all Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and nothing else. So when this industry insider reports that the pencils have been put down and that the development on the project has been shuttered, I seriously question if that's a permanent cancel and not just another long-term delay. They've already put so much time and effort into this film. The article goes on to talk about it. 7+ writers have penned an iteration of that script. It seems very hard to believe that with Mahershala Ali still attached to the project, that they would just give up now. But taking this news and putting it through the context of a different rumor, late last year we started to hear that Marvel was actually going to prioritize a Midnight Suns film and fast track it, which, as I remarked at the time, felt a little bit weird because wouldn't you put the Blade movie out first? And since then, it sounded like we would get both. But perhaps this was the plan. You cancel Blade so that you can do a Midnight Suns movie instead and make it much bigger. And maybe that is what has happened here, where Blade's been canceled, so the door for Midnight Suns is open. And that's why this article specifically went to point out that we're still getting Mahershala Ali's Blade, it'll just be in a different film. Now, if all of this ends up being true, Marvel Studios puts out a Midnight Suns featuring Blade, but not a Blade film, I have a sneaking suspicion as to why they'd want to do this. Again, purely speculation, but when you put out a Blade film, it's immediately compared to the other Blade films. If they put out a Midnight Suns film, which is essentially a Blade film but with other characters, and it doesn't do as well, well, there's not the apples to apples comparison that it's being compared to Wesley Snipes' Blade 1-to-1. And maybe the problem has been all along, if you're gonna make new Blade movies, they've gotta be better than the ones that already exist, and if they're not gonna be, there's no point in making them. This allows them to go somewhere completely differently creatively by doing a Midnight Suns film instead. And from Mahershala Ali's point of view, if he just wants to play the character of Blade, I don't really see why it matters. I am all in on a Midnight Suns movie. The lineups for that team are consistently amazing. whoever they choose to put on it, it's going to be a good time. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below about all of this. At some rate, you really got to feel for Mahershala Ali, because he was the one who put his foot down to Marvel and said that those scripts weren't good enough. If you missed our video from yesterday, we talked about the old scripts, the original plot leaks, 2 really subpar action sequences in the first script, and then an adaptation of that just didn't really seem to serve the character at all. He was the one who said, no, I'm not going to allow myself to be a part of this if it's going to be a subpar script. We have to make this script good. And I feel like, at some rate, it has to be said. Marvel Studios has Ryan Coogler. They had Michael B. Jordan. Those 2 are about to put what looks like an amazing vampire movie out in Sinners. How is it this hard for Marvel Studios to figure out how to make a Blade movie? Oh my god, it is seriously so straightforward. And you really got to wonder what's been standing in Marvel's way. How can this many people take a shot at this script and them not find a story that makes sense or that they think will resonate with fans? It's a vampire slasher. It's literally just a vampire slasher with a super cocky, super skilled Blade. I seriously... Oh man, sometimes it feels like these movies would write themselves, but essentially, this is why more movies are absolutely terrible than are good, and that's why when movies are really good, they become instant classics, because it is really hard to write a compelling story, and it seems like that's more so the case than ever, I guess, for vampire movies. Anyway, guys, let me know all your thoughts down below about any and all of this. You think this is the permanent can for Blade? Do you think it's because of Midnight Suns, or do you think we're going to get a Blade movie? It'll just be after they do the next 2 Avengers films. I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. We've been doing that for years. We're going to continue to do it for every Marvel drop this year. The next one is Daredevil's finale in under a month. We've also got Thunderbolts right behind that. All you got to do to be entered to win, super simple. Hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice, on screen, with the comment shown when there's a winner. Please be safe and vigilant. No one will ever get in the comments and told you you've won. Remember, anybody can take a content creator's photo, claim to be them. It's all just a ruse to get you to pay for shipping for a prize that doesn't exist. No content creators are hitting you up in the comments, and no content creators, myself included, are charging you for shipping. Just report those comments directly to YouTube. They delete those accounts very fast. You're doing everyone on the platform a service. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all platforms with original music under the name All Fires, and while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.